Okay. Call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners on November 21st at 5:15. Joanne? Here. Any changes to the agenda tonight?
Madam Chair, I have a change. I'd like to reconsider the motion previously made at the November 7th meeting regarding solar panels at Sugar Sand Park.
When did you want to add that after the longevity pay?
That would be fine.
Okay. Yeah, we need a second. Okay,
Bob seconded.
okay, and then Joanne?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, do we have any public requests tonight? Nope. Anybody online? Okay. We will close public request and we'll do approval of the minutes of the previous board meeting held on November 7th.
Move to approve.
Okay, Joanne?
Commissioner Ernst,
Commissioner Engel?
Commissioner Rollins, Commissioner Vogelsang, Commissioner Wright. Motion passes.
Okay, we'll move on to regular business. First is the temporary construction easement amendment. Executive Director Harms.
I apologize, commissioners. It should just be a discussion on this. This is not an amendment. On page 5, it is the our current temporary construction easement agreement that we have for the use of Ocean Strand to develop a neighboring property. There's been a few issues out there. It's extended beyond the lines that were described in this agreement. So we attempted to resolve those issues. We've not gotten a response back from the grantee. So tonight we'd like to recommend that we do a notice to cure to the grantee to amend these, give them 30 days to amend, to cure the issues that are out there before we take further action. And Sean can weigh in on that process and how that works.
Doing a notice to cure basically, because they're not using the easement area. The easement area that was defined as Exhibit A, they're actually outside of that area.
And then at the end of 30 days, if they do not cure it, can you kind of walk us through what those next steps are?
So currently they provided $15,000 as a payment for the use of this service. If we were to terminate the agreement immediately, we would have to prorate that amount and give them back certain funds that they had already paid to the district. If we do it as a notice to cure and give them 30 days and they still don't cure it, we would be able to take the full 15,000. And once we terminate the agreement, if they don't take care of that, they would have to start repaving immediately upon termination.
Anything else besides the paving? Are there any fences or any vegetation that needs to be remediated?
Yes, so they would have to return part of this is to return the property that they've used back to its original condition. So we would have to pursue that avenue with them. We could get it done and then get reimbursed by them later if it didn't happen right away. But hopefully the notice to cure is enough for them to fix the issues and continue to the end of this agreement.
Need a motion.
We do need a motion, please.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to provide a notice to cure associated with the temporary construction easement for about 30 days and then proceed the normal path.
Commissioner Ernst, Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, moving on to number 2, longevity pay. Executive Director Harms.
Commissioners, on page 10 of your agenda packets is a brief memo about what the city calls continuing service benefit, but most discuss it as employee longevity pay. This was a benefit previously offered to district employees prior to the adoption of the employee manual. There's a copy of the city policy here included in this agenda packet. Commissioner Wright asked us to bring this item and information to all of you tonight to consider adding this to our employee handbook, and the language would be described exactly on page 10 of your agenda packets.
Confirmation, I saw in the packet also that this is the same as the city has. So we just are, ditto for our plan like the city has. So, okay.
Yeah, I just replaced Boca Raton Beach, Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District. That's it.
Okay. Do you need a motion, Madam Chair? Then I would move that we approve the employee longevity plan as presented in our packet.
Second,
Okay, Joanne?
Commissioner Ernst, Commissioner Engel, Commissioner Rollins, Commissioner Vogelsang. Motion passes.
On to item number 3. Craig, go ahead.
Madam Chair, as I read the minutes for the meeting, I thought more about it and I did a little bit more research on the whole thing. For solar panels at Sugar Sand. First of all, I'm still supportive of the concept of solar panels at Sugar Sand. I think it's a great idea. But as I looked at the motion, I said it's 300,000 and the benefit is very limited. To me, when I made the motion, it's more important to do the research of how it gets communicated in the science exploratorium. It takes time to put this all together. And so I want to make sure that I could see more than a financial benefit if it's properly educated out there how it was done. And we didn't really have any of that material or understanding of it. So that's one component of it. So to me, it's not just the dollar savings you save in electricity on the solar panels, it's more about the communication. And to do it right, you really have to kind of, figure out who provides and how it's going to provide, a little bit more homework on that. So then I thought, well, are we doing this because we're redoing the roof? And Brianne informed me, no, it can be done at any time. It's not about the timing of before or after the roof. So I said, okay. And then it gets to the 2 other items that I was really thinking of is that it's another project for us to do right now. And when we do those projects, it's sort of like when we started Ocean Strand. Everything always starts out kind of small, but it goes into something bigger pretty quick. And so I'm just thinking of our priority of our projects. It's a budget amendment to do it. If we give it a year, would we be better off? I'm still supportive of doing it. I want to just kind of push it into the next budget cycle because there's a major manufacturing effort right now through the Inflation Recovery Act that was passed in, I think it was August. And First Solar, the largest US manufacturer, is going to build a $1 billion plant. So solar panels are going to come down in pricing, but it's a matter of the timing of it. And so I said, is it worth it for us to try to do this right now or just wait a year? So that was my thought process of let's at least think it through before we jump on that one. And more important, if I put more weight on the front end of knowing what we're communicating within the science exploratorium, that is more valuable to me than the panels itself. That's what I really wanted to see.
Well, I was just going to say, I agree with you on the education part of it. So that's something that we need to talk to Explorium staff, because I think if we discuss it with them and we have Brianne discuss it with them, they can look up some options possibly on how to educate it best and how to communicate it best to the kids that come into the Explorium, and maybe have a panel up on the wall or something, like the first thing you see. But I think that's best to discuss with the staff, because I don't think it would be good for us to decide how best to educate the kids. I think talking to the staff and getting some ideas from them might be the best thing. I'm not against waiting. I don't think that's a bad thing. Obviously it's much smarter to do the panels after the roof is done and not before the roof is done. That wouldn't make sense because they'll just have to remove the panels to do the roof anyway. So I don't think it's a bad thing. And when I was discussing with Brianne about the design and everything, it might be best to wait until after the new roof is put on anyway, in case there's some adjustments that need to be made when they do the new roof, and then do design after that. So as long as you're still on board, I think that's. Yeah, okay, okay. So go ahead, Steve.
kind of said what I was going to say. Yeah, education is important. And from a practical standpoint, doing the roof before we put on the solar panels makes sense because it's going to cost us to take the solar panels down and then put them back up again. Craig, what you said also makes sense. The price of the solar panels may come down in the next year. So I don't see an issue with waiting another year to put the solar panels, to start the process of putting the solar panels in.
So it'll also give us some time to look into grants and other incentives from the state as far as doing the solar panels or from other corporations. If there are some rebates and some possible monetary incentives to get this. Would our grant writer be willing to look into this besides, other than the fact that we don't use that as a shelter?
Yes.
I think Craig's exactly right about the educational component. And I think that, tying it in with the staff is just as important as, because the return on it's a long-term investment. And it's an investment in our environment, of course, at the same time. So I think it's a great idea. Waiting for this is certainly not going to do anything but help us gather information, the grants and the material to use this as an educational tool. So.
Do we need a motion?
So I make a motion, is it to defer to the next budget cycle? Would that work? Okay, so I make a motion to defer the previous meeting's motion on solar panels at Sugar Sand to be deferred to the next budget cycle.
Joanne?
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Okay, approval of payroll and invoices. Craig?
Meeting's going very fast. Someone wrote really large print for me. $43,459.90. I make the motion to approve payroll and invoices for that amount.
Ernst, Commissioner Engel, Commissioner Rollins, Commissioner Vogelsang, Commissioner Wright. Motion passes.
Okay, reports and discussion items. Executive Director Harms, you want to go first?
The court resurfacing is continuing here at Swim and Racket Center. The 6 unlit courts are now resurfaced and the fixtures for retrofitting the current lighting fixtures with the LED arrived on Friday, so they'll start that. And then resurfacing will continue this week on to next week. At Ocean Strand, they started putting the pathway in and that's going to be installed through this week and next week. We do have some materials that aren't going to be available till mid-January, like the benches, the bike racks, those kinds of things, and the signage. So when those things get in mid-January, they're going to install them right away. We hope to have it open by February, and then we're going to work with staff on a ribbon cutting and big opening for everybody to go out and celebrate the new park. Permitting at Patch Reef for the pickleball center will begin in February. The bid docs and permitting will be advertised at the end of March, and hopefully we can award a contract by the end of May to start that project. The roof replacement bids for Sugar Sand, we extended that one. Actually, because of Hurricane Nicole, some potential bidders reached out asking if we could delay that. So we did extend that and sent notice out and advertise the notice of extension. So the bids are due now December 2nd at 11 a.m. A couple of updates for city projects. Well, one update is the Red Reef South Restroom. I think if anybody has been out to Red Reef, you've seen that trailer out there. The construction is still in progress. They also have had some delays on some of the materials. They hope to get the new doors to arrive by mid-December and wrap up that project soon. And then in everybody's folder, you'll see there's going to be a town hall talk about Ocean Strand and the archaeological findings that were discovered out there during our development of this park. So it's a nice little town hall talk at the Boca Raton Historical Museum. Encourage everybody to take a look at that and take a listen to it if you can get out there. And that's all I have.
You. District Council? Oh, sorry.
Can I ask one question, Breen? Is the roof project at Sugar Sand, that is the field house and
Just
Is
the
it-
community center.
just the community center? And
We're starting the design of the field house. And then we have the quad buildings too. But we're, right now, the bid is just to do the community center one. That's in dire need to get done.
and the community, is it managed, is it gonna be overseen by us or by the city?
No, CGA. We're managing that project, but we hired CGA to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're managing it, but the city is not participating in any of it.
They have helped to look at some of the documents and they're good. Like when we decided to replace the parts that aren't metal, they weighed in and said that they supported that. So we've kept them apprised of the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thing new to report, but it was a pleasure meeting all of you and thanks for having me tonight.
Who wants to go first? Susie?
I have a question, Brianne, about is the shade cover out at DeHornley? I've had some people ask me about that. Are we,
Are you talking about over the stands? We did.
oh, we did?
Yeah, we did. Put
Because
that out there.
I had some parents complaining that there's no shade out there.
Well, I'll find out if something was taken down, but maybe during the storms, but I don't think they took anything down for that. But I'll find out.
Okay. And I just want to report that I get a lot of positive feedback about us redoing the courts out here. Everybody's really, really excited. So not only the courts, but the lighting.
Everybody.
Greg? Steve?
It differently. Happy Thanksgiving.
Ditto. All right, so that's about it. So go ahead.
Adjourn.
All right, Joanne.
Commissioner Engel? Commissioner Rollins? Commissioner Vogelsang? Yes. Commissioner Wright?
Yes,
Motion passes.
we are adjourned.